Frank, good week on the training ground this week?
Yeah, it's been nice to have a solid week's training. It's been a busy schedule. I know it is for everybody, but it affects your training time. We've also got players coming back from injury, so it's been good to be all together and have a bit of a breather in terms of, we've had a good run of results, but there's still a lot of work to do. So training ground work's the best way to tackle some of those things, and squad's getting a bit stronger in the sense of people coming back. So positive week, but it needs to lead into a positive weekend.
Correct. Haji Wright, we've seen photos of him out on the training ground. How's he getting on at the moment?
Yeah, he's going well. It's he's certainly turned his corner and is training with us. So more than that, so now it's about getting his match fitness up, ready to be able to contribute on the pitch, because I know the important player is we haven't seen him. I haven't seen him for us, but I know what he is. So he's very close now.
So he's a contender for the squad at the moment?
Yeah, contender for the squad. I'll make that call today, because off the back of training and how he feels, whether it's this week or next week.
And Ben Sheaf?
Sheaf is the same. I'll speak to Sheafy this morning. And it's probably a little bit ahead of Haji purely because of less time out in terms of match fitness. So he could be in the squad this week, certainly next week.
Okay. And it's all about momentum, particularly at this stage of the season. And 6 wins out of 7, you appear to have got the kind of wind in your sails a little bit at the moment. Is that fair?
Well, at the moment we're getting good results, but there's a long way to go and a lot of weeks and games to go. So I think momentum is a great word when you're in it, but it's a dangerous word to get complacent about. People talk about momentum. Yeah, we've moved up the table a lot. But when people talk about historical momentum that gets you in the playoffs, it's sometimes that late run into the playoffs. So we can't consider we're near that yet. We have to continue with this. There will be difficult moments in the next games. So we're in a good place, but we need to continue with it, which comes from work and focus, really, as a group.
And the last couple of games, you've won them with late goals. I mean, that's never a bad habit to have, is it?
No, it's not. And it's not. People look at it. I can refer back to late goals against us, particularly Norwich. So it happens when you're in moments where things go your way. I think QPR and Sheffield Wednesday were similar in that we're both tough games, particularly Sheffield Wednesday away from home. But when you work hard, when you keep a clean sheet against QPR, when you defend the box well against Sheffield Wednesday, you remain in the game, and if you have a resilience about you as a group, those things can happen. Most top successful teams have that in them. We're working towards being that, so it's nice for us to feel that at the moment, but they kind of mean nothing. They're good, but now we move forward, and Preston's going to be a really tough game in lots of different ways.
I was with Milan and Louis Binks in Warwick earlier on this week in a fan supporters club forum, and they were both great, as you'd expect them to be. Louis was talking about he found it a little bit difficult that he's kept 3 clean sheets in his last 3 appearances, and yet you've taken him out of the team for the Sheffield Wednesday game. But he appreciates that that's competition for places is good, and that that's what you're looking at, trying to fit at the moment 4 centre halves into 3 positions. Yeah,
well, firstly, clean sheets are a team effort, that's for sure. I don't think they're necessarily individual, but I understand all the players view those kind of things from their own eyes, and I get that. We've got 4 centre backs competing for 3 positions at this moment, and there's been times when it's been Louis out, Joel out, Bobby out, Kitch out, all of them, and that's hard to manage from my point of view. Yeah. So what you rely on then is that the players, albeit being sort of upset because they want to contribute, that's a good thing, obviously. You rely on them being professional and backing their teammate and training and being ready to come in, because if it's not always for me about we win a game, I keep the same team. Sometimes we lose a game. We lost against Ipswich 4-1. I see good things in that game, and I see other things in good results. So those are my jobs. But the lads as a whole, you refer to 2 there, they've been really, really good since we've been in. And sometimes a challenge for individuals within that is when they're not playing, can you still be really positive around the group? And I've found that to be outstanding so far. So no problem with players feeling I want to play every week. My job means that I can't play 22 players every week. but they've been very good so far.
I mean, Louis did caveat that with, it's all about winning games, so he did accept, that's part and parcel of being in the squad.
And lads have got personality. I expect them to speak, and I expect them to not sit there and go, I'm not bothered, or whatever. That's a good group, and I was a player. I understand feelings, and there's never a problem. Part of my job is to try and manage that. It's not always easy because players work all week, prepare all week. People like Binksley, they do everything right, and you've got to make a decision. But as I say, they've got personality, they can speak. As long as they train well, they know their time will come. And generally with a team, I try to pick on merit. It's good examples for players to refer to. When you look at Jamie Allen and Kitch in my first whatever games, don't get in the team. They get in the team and don't come out of the team. Kitch particularly, and Jamie's contribution was incredible for 5 or 6 games. So that's a good marker for everybody.
Preston, what are your thoughts on them coming into the game this weekend?
Well, I think it's a really, really difficult match for us to not be underestimated. Aggressive team, man-to-man marking at times in high pressure, physical team, very, very difficult to play against for different reasons. So I'm considering nothing about momentum and all these things in this one. I'm considering Preston. I think it's a really hard game.
And you probably won't know this, but September 2007 was the last time Coventry beat them in a league game. I mean, is that something that you bear in mind and psychologically, or not really?
Well, I'm aware of it. I'm very aware of it actually, because there's a lot of Coventry people that work here as well, so they feel even more emotionally attached to it than some others. But I'm aware of it. It's not my record. It's Coventry's, but now I'm a big part of Coventry, so I understand it. But I focus on the game as what it is. It'd be nice to break it because it's a thing, obviously, but for me it's not so much of a thing other than trying to prepare the team well and get the 3 points. So it would be nice if we can win a game which is so important to us now and break that record that hangs over us slightly.
And people compare it with Swansea, 75 years since you last won in Swansea, and you managed that 3 weeks ago. So
yeah, and again, if I made all the Coventry fans happy, I'm happy. I was happy with 3 points and get back on the M4 and come back down home. So it's nice to break those things. They're there. Every club has versions of those, and they can become a mental thing going into those games specifically. Hopefully, we're in a good place now where the players are not thinking about that and considering it. We focus on the job, and if we can make the fans happy for different reasons, then that's going to be good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I fully understand it. It's a massive thing for me. I'm buzzing to be here, and I can't wait to show what I can do on the pitch.
And you were right in the celebrations with Ellis Simms' injury time winner last week at Sheffield Wednesday. Did I read somebody split your lip as well?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it's just the way it happened. It was the last minute, wasn't it? 93rd minute or something. I was warming up on the side and Ellis ran that way, and I thought, well, I'm not just going to stand here. I'm going to run and celebrate. It felt like a bit of a fan at that moment, to be honest. I felt like I was going to get stewards are going to drag me out of the stadium. But no, it was a good win as well for the team. And it was just it was a good experience just to be in and around it at an away game, especially with 3 points.
You didn't find out who the guilty man was then, no?
I just remember walking off. And I remember tasting a little bit of blood and one of that, and it was just a bit fat. But it went down later on in the night, so it won a big one.
No, that's good. But what was it like being in I know you've been here for a few weeks now around the training ground, but what was it like being in a squad on a match day?
Yeah, I was just excited really. Obviously you're always excited to be involved in any squad. Playing football is what you've always wanted to do and what you love, or you wouldn't be doing it. But being in, I still have to pinch myself sometimes and realise where I'm at. Especially just hearing the Cov fans sing certain songs, it's just weird to get your head around. But yeah, I was just watching the fans most of the game, just staring at them, especially when they're singing and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was enjoyable.
I mean, we're biased, but the support is phenomenal, isn't it, at this club?
Yeah, I've always said it. Even years ago when everything happened and they were playing at Birmingham and a younger generation didn't really know, how big Coventry was. And I used to always tell people, and they used to laugh at me, and they used to be like, well, okay, you'll see, like, when they come back up, they'll be getting 30,000, and that's exactly what's happened. I think people started to realise how big the club was from that little period when they were getting to Wembley and they were taking 45,000. which I went to every one of them, to the Johnson's Paint one. I couldn't make the playoff final one, but I went to the FA Cup semi-final. I feel like I've been in another one as well. Was it League One playoff? Been there a few times, isn't it, lately? So yeah.
League Two playoff was
League Two playoff final.
2018.
Yeah. So yeah, they were great experiences.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, you're going to be in the squad for the Preston game, the first home game at the CBS Arena, with potentially the chance to come on. How are you feeling about that?
Just excited, mate. Just excited, really. Obviously, you know, I want to come on and I want to make a difference on the pitch. Obviously, Coventry fan, yeah, I understand. There's a thing about that as well. But I'm hoping I can come on and actually do something on the pitch and change the game or whatever's needed from me. And if I don't get on and we get the 3 points, it's still a good day. I'm still involved in the squad at the Rico where I had a season ticket. And if I get on and play well, then it's a bonus.
How many friends and family have been asking you for tickets this week?
Honestly, mate, ridiculous amount. But I've just kept it to my close friends and my family can get the tickets, obviously, that I can get.
Yeah.
Majority of other people have already got season tickets anyway. A lot of my family have got season tickets anyway. So yeah, but I could have literally got about 100 tickets easily, just from messages. But yeah, you just forget how many people are actually proper Cov fans, and then start texting you and you're like, oh man, I can't get 100 tickets for you, your nan, your dog, your cat. Do you know what I mean?
Or they're bandwagoners, but anyway, we'll perhaps draw a line there. But not bad for a little lad from Henley Green, is it?
Nah. Yeah, when you look back from there, yeah, it was like Henley Green and Ballsgrave, then Wyken, all that area of Coventry. And that area of Coventry is just full of Coventry fans. So it seems to, especially Wyken, I'd say that's the area where, you know, where I grew up a little bit older, and just everyone's a Coventry fan. My mum's neighbours are Coventry fans. The one across the road's a Coventry fan. Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit mad to think that I've come from there and got all the way up to playing for Coventry, and you know, especially where the club's at as well, it's even more of a privilege that they're doing so well. Yeah, I'm loving it.
And I mean, this is an odd question, but because it's come towards the end of your career, is it almost more special than if you'd started here, do you think?
I know where you're coming from. But yeah, I'm probably more glad I've come to Coventry, knowing that I've got it in my bank now. I've done it, been there and done it. Gives you a little bit more confidence. It's not as easy to come through in the youth team, as you can imagine. But either or would, you know, it still would have been a special moment anyway. It would have been a lot easier if I came through the Cov Academy. I wouldn't have had to move 15 different cities, mate. I'd have loved it. But it don't work out like that, does it?
No.
But now I'm looking at it as everything's made to be, and it's come a full circle, and I'm hoping it's one of them moments where we go and get in the playoffs and get in the final and get to the Prem. And hopefully I've got some part to play in that, and that would be what more can you want?
Getting a winner at Wembley. No pressure.
That'd be class, wouldn't it? That'd be good.
But you've not reinvented yourself as a player, but you can play. I mean, you started out as a wide man, but now you can play a little bit deeper and more central as your career's gone on, can't you?
Yeah, well, obviously coming through Warsaw, I was just a striker, youth team, sort of a second striker, not a 10, just in a 2 really. And I was more of like a goal scorer, like that was my job. And then when I got into the first team with Dean Smith, obviously I was small. He couldn't just throw me up as a striker in League One. I would have got et up. So he put me on the left, and it was more of a case of like sort of change that role a little bit for me to be able to play like a left striker, but left wing at the same time. And thankfully, he gave me the opportunity, stuck with me because he knew what I could do, which was massive. And then he started scoring goals from that point. Obviously, as the years have gone on, formations have changed a little bit, and I was more of a number 10. But then I quickly realised everyone's playing with 8s, wingers are staying wide. So I had to adapt to more of an 8 position really, and especially at Swansea, I think I played some of my best football in that position. So yeah, I can play wide, 8, striker. I've played in the 6 for about a year at Bristol City when we had a couple of injuries, and I loved it there as well. So yeah, just anywhere really, it's apart from defence.
Centre half.
Might not be able to do a job centre back. Maybe full back if it's a few injuries or whatever. But
Well, you score a couple of 3 goals, important goals between now and the end of the season. We might forgive you for all the goals you've scored against us over the years.
yeah, I've got a lot of them messages, mate. Similar messages. But yeah, playing against Cov was always, it's a hard one to explain. But I wanted to score against Cov. Do you know what I mean? I can't explain it because I just knew how many people were watching. And obviously you'd get all them messages before the game. So it was a case of, it felt like a bigger game every time. And I just had that extra spring in my step, and I think that's why I kept scoring. Just, I don't know, it's strange every time. Every time after a minute, one game against, I think it was the first game in the Champ, Coventry, Bristol City away. I swear we scored from kick-off. I was just like, what's going on here? Every single game.
2 and a 4-0 again for Walsall against us.
For Walsall, yeah. My first game we lost 5-1 at Rico.
Yeah.
I thought, oh God, that was awkward. Maybe we got absolutely battered. Then the next game we won 4-0, didn't we? Yeah, I scored 2. So yeah, and it started there really.